Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ojima in case you're stumbling on my video for the first time. And today's episode, I will be sharing with you things I have learned in life, like lessons I have learned in life. And some of these lessons, actually, I had to learn them the hard way, and some of them not so hard. I say the hard way because I chose intentionally and unintentionally to be a terrible student in life. I say students because in life we're all students. We're all here to learn, to grow. The only way you grow is through learning, right? And sometimes we can choose to be really stubborn, like we are experiencing one thing over and over and over again, and we choose to be such knuckleheads that we refuse to read the handwritings on the wall. Maybe because we want things done our own way, or maybe because we expect life to treat us the way we want life to treat. But that's not our choice to make. Okay, and in the end, we just have to learn because that's the only way we grow, that's the only way we heal, that's the only way we get better with this thing called life. So that being said, you probably think I've started giving you the advices and the lessons I've learned. No, okay. I'm still getting right into it. So please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel so you can always stay updated on all my personal growth and development content that I would definitely love to share with you guys. So let's get right into the video. So lesson number one, something I've learned in life and probably give you an insight to life and how to navigate some of your life problems or challenges is, guess who's going to give you the whole world? Guess who's going to give you everything? Guess who is going to provide for you unconditionally? You. That was something I didn't learn earlier on. I had the mindset of I need to get married to a rich man. Don't chew me raw, okay? Who doesn't want the good things of life? But I've come to realize that only me gets to provide for myself unconditionally. I mean, my parents can do the best they can, my partner can do the best he can, but at the end of the day, they're only going to spare what they can spare for you. But let's say, for instance, I want to get myself a new car and I have a dream car that I want to get. I'm going to save up for that car. I'm going to budget for that car and I'm going to get it and I'm not going to look back. But you're going to be lucky enough if your partner or your parents decide to get you exactly your dream car. They might think it's too expensive. They might think it's a bad financial choice to make. But if you're the one getting it for yourself, you're going to get it for yourself because you need it, because you deserve it, because you can afford it, because you want it, and because you can do it. Then you're going to do it. But someone else giving it to you is going to want to weigh if that is a good choice to make. But only you can give you everything without holding back. And that was something really important I had to learn. Lesson number two, I would say we suffer more in our imagination than in reality. So this goes for all overthinkers. Basically, like we always overthink things, okay? And statistics have shown that women overthink situations and experiences more than men. Duh. But that doesn't take away the fact that everybody tends to overthink at some point in their life. And that being said, when was the last time you had an appointment with someone and you just had to cancel because you were just overthinking it for no good reason? I mean, I, for one, I'm very good at doing that. I always have, let's say, appointments with people and I don't overthink it. till the day before the appointment, and I'm having anxiety attack, and I'm looking for reasons and explanations to give just to cancel that appointment. And sometimes I end up canceling. I always come up with a very good reason, trust me. And some other times I just decide to do it anyways, regardless of how I feel. And this year, that was something I intentionally did. Last year and this year, mostly, I was doing my best. I would say ending of last year, mostly, I was doing my best to honor invitations regardless of how I felt about the invitations. As long as I felt safe about going for that invitation, then I would definitely honor it, right? And for each time I honored the invitation, regardless of what my mind was telling me, I came back home realizing that I was literally overthinking the whole experience. Why wouldn't I want to go? I actually went and I had more fun than I thought I would have. Now, the whole anxiety, the whole pain I felt in my chest and in my head, sometimes I literally had headache thinking about situations like that. And the whole pain I had vanished the moment I got to the destination. I probably even had more fun than I thought I would. And it just goes to say that you suffer more in your imagination than in your reality. You're probably overthinking what your partner did to you, whereas they're not even thinking it in that direction. You're probably overthinking what you say to a friend, whereas probably they even forgot you had that conversation. So if you feel like you are overthinking something, how about you approach the person and talk it out with the person, or how about you just find a way to let it go? Because at the end of the day, it's going to do you more harm than good. Lesson number two is you may love someone and still have to let them go. This was a lesson I had to learn the hard way. Loving someone doesn't guarantee that the person is going to love you back. And that's the truth. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. That doesn't mean that you do not have a worth. It just means that the person doesn't see you for who you are. It just goes to mean that the person is not for you. And that is completely okay, right? Because the person that is meant for you will love you just as much as you love them. And you would never have to compromise or lower your standards for someone. And that's the truth. Lesson number four, listen to your instincts. For every single time I ignored my instinct, I had to pay a very dear price. See it this way: as human beings, we exist simultaneously in two different realms, the physical realm and the spiritual realm. So, the physical realm is your body, what you see with your physical eyes, what you experience in your physicality. And then the spiritual realm is where your instincts, your higher self actually exist. So what happens is that in your physicality, you only get to see things with the limitation of your physicality. And human beings, for one, are very, very good players, actors, right? We tend to put on this mask. So if you are not careful, you only see things based on the mask they put on. But then your higher self sees things beyond what your physical eyes can see. And when it sees those things, it relays those messages to you in the form of feelings, in the form of your instincts, right? And then the worst thing you can do is to ignore those messages, because those messages are from a realm you cannot see or experience. You can only feel them through those messages. So the worst thing you can do is to ignore those messages. So I'll always say if something feels off, it is definitely off. If something feels like you cannot tell what it is, but there is something there and you feel so unsettled about it, then trust me, you shouldn't be there in the first place. Lesson number five, I would say mind your business. This lesson was one of the hardest lessons I had to learn, I think, right? I'm not going to go into details of what this lesson was, but I don't think I'm ready to share that yet. But it was a situation where I saw something and I got asked about the thing and I went to explain what I saw, and the parties involved used me to reconcile. And that was so hard because these were the people I kind of had some level of trust and love for. And I felt betrayed by air. And after that experience, I had my first anxiety attack through that. I didn't tell anybody about it, right? But that was so hard to bear because I could literally see that I got played. Like everybody was literally playing the game and I got played by the game. And that was so hard. That was a very hard pill to swallow. Lesson number 6, I would say life is a game. Recognize your opponents. Don't be naive, guys. Like, everybody out there is playing the game, everybody out there is wearing a mask. The worst thing you can do is to be a naive person in this cruel world. Okay, I'm not trying to say go ahead and play games because everybody is playing games. No, be your truest self, be yourself, but I want you to always see people for exactly what they are, right? Don't get deceived by the mask people wear. Someone comes up to you and is acting all nice, all jovial. See beyond that. See beyond that act. I'm not saying that there's so many people out there that everybody's playing games. Not everybody. But you need to recognize when people are playing games, and you need to recognize who your opponents are so that you do not get attacked from behind. Trust me, it happens a lot. And that is where listening to your instinct comes in. If something feels off, something definitely feels off. Okay, don't stress it. Don't make excuses for people. Don't try to please everybody. Be your goddamn self unapologetically. Okay, and don't let anybody play games on you. Lesson number 7, I would say develop a relationship with God. Developing a relationship with God is so important for me. Like, I am not holy or anything like that, but there's so many experiences I have, and to me, God is the only solution to it. I don't care what you say and I don't care how you see it, but He is definitely the only solution. Sometimes, okay, let me use for instance, trying to develop yourself and become the best version of yourself, right? So you go through all this self-care routines, self-care practices, and then all of a sudden nothing seems to be working, right? You put on your facials, and normally when you use your facials you feel like a 10 of 10. You're in a good mood, you're affirming positivities into your life, and all of a sudden you put on a facial and you feel depressed, right? And to me, I don't think that ordinary. I feel like some things go way beyond the physical, right? And I would just go to God, like, I don't know what I'm feeling. I don't know how to handle this. I don't know how to navigate this feeling. So only you know, so come help me, right? And to me, God is the utmost and most important thing in my life. And I would definitely recommend a whole 100% always have a relationship with God. Advice number 8, I would say no regrets. It's hard for you not to regret certain choices you've made in your life. And although it's hard, but you still have to do it. You cannot regret anything that's happened in your life, good or bad. It's all happened for a reason. Okay, let's use the Bible for instance. God says he has plans for us, and his plans are to bring us to an expected end. I cannot tell you the Bible verse because somehow I cannot remember or I really don't know. But that's to tell you that every single thing that happens to you happens for a reason. And I want you to know that because you have a relationship with God doesn't mean that your life is going to be smooth and rosy all the time. No. I mean, look at the disciples, for instance. They were the disciples of Christ, but they were in the sea and the whole water, there was a great storm. You would say that because they were the disciples of Christ, there was meant to be no storm. But that storm was there to test their faith. That storm was there to remind them that they need to grow their faith. Because if they get so complacent in their trust in God, then they wouldn't grow, they wouldn't evolve. And that is just it. So I don't want you to go in with the narrative that serving God makes your life easier. No, I think it even makes your life tough. Because being a child of God, you have to be as tough as your God. Your God is really tough. So you've got to be as tough as He is. So you're going to experience things that you don't understand. You're going to experience things you definitely don't like, but you have to trust Him regardless. And that's just it. So don't ever regret anything that you come across. You made a terrible life choice, you made a terrible decision, you made a choice that you are not proud of. Okay, suck it up. Okay, don't regret it, because what you have to ask yourself is, what am I supposed to learn in this? You keep meeting partners that are abusive. Maybe you should actually check how you pick your partners. Maybe you keep meeting friends that betray you in different ways. You should ask yourself, why are you constantly being attracted, or why do you keep attracting people with certain characteristics? That's what you should be worried about, and not beating yourself up for why you made such choices. Learn from it and move on, because that's where your growth actually lies. You cannot move forward to the next stage of your life until you learn what this current stage has for you. Lesson number 9, I would say, hear me now. Like, I want you to hear me loud and clear right now. There is nothing you cannot come back from, no matter what it is. Like, nothing. We have so much strength and power embedded in us as human beings, and sometimes we don't even realize it. Okay? Like, no matter how heartbroken you are, no matter how hurt you are, no matter what you lost, you can come back from anything. Okay, sometime last year, I got robbed, and that was a very difficult experience for me, because that was the first time I got robbed alone. Okay, I've been robbed with my family before, right? But I've never been robbed alone. And that was very hard. I got traumatized. Like, for weeks, I would sleep and I would have nightmares of that particular experience. And from that experience, I got robbed and my card was swapped. The money in my account was swiped out, and I literally had nothing. The only thing I had was a place to lay my head and my trauma from that experience. And I can tell you that last year ended with me actually surpassing or doubling my financial goal for the last 3 years, right? And that only made me realize that everything, one, happens for a reason, and two, that I'm really thought of, right? So the money that got swapped from my account was literally my savings, and I had plans for that money, right? And then that money got swapped. Guess what that did? It made me want to hustle more. It made me want to recover that money so that I could do what I wanted to do with that money. It made me see loopholes and opportunities where I normally wouldn't have seen. It made me see life on a different way. And most importantly, I learned a very valuable lesson from that experience. And that lesson is that I never leave the house with all my ATM cards. I know that is dumb. Who does that? But I used to do that. And I wouldn't have learned that lesson if not for that experience. Like, I would literally leave the house with all my ATM cards in my bag. But now I never do that. Okay. So you can definitely come back from anything. Just learn what you're supposed to learn, move forward, and have zero regrets from it. Lesson number 10, I would say it only gets better. Honestly, like, life is so beautiful. Stop trying to limit yourself. Like, honestly speaking, okay? Like, okay, let's say, using for instance, my experience of being robbed. My finances got better afterwards. I lost all my money, but my finances got better afterwards, right? Let's say in relationship, let's use Lori Harvey for instance. She keeps upgrading her relationship status, like no kidding. She goes from dating a 10 over 10 to dating like a 20 over 20. And I'm not saying break up with your boyfriend so that you can get better. No, I'm just trying to say that if you lose anything, that just means that that thing is not meant for you, right? And probably it might come back in the future. Maybe the timing is not right, whatever it is. But I want you to have the mindset that for everything that you lose, that is an opportunity, that is a cue from the universe to let you know that it's time to level up, period. Lesson number 11, look good. So this is my new favorite hack. So if I am not feeling good, if I feel sad or unhappy or stuck, or I even feel like not my 10 over 10 kind of self, what do? I just go to the salon, I fix my hair, fix my nails, I'm putting a nice outfit and I am feeling like the it girl once again. Like once I do that, like even if I just make my hair and my nails and I don't get to go out, but once I stare at the mirror and I see my skin glowing better, because once you make your hair, your skin glows different. I don't know how that happens, but that's just it. My skin is glowing better and my nails are on point. I start believing my affirmations again. I start believing that I am capable of achieving my dreams. I start believing that I am capable of living my dream life. Okay, so this is a really good tip for you. If you're feeling stuck, just look good and you're going to switch your mood in seconds. Trust me.